Hi there. So today I'm gonna be doing something different. I'm gonna be reading and sharing my thoughts about a book that is dear to me. It's titled The Overthinking Cure by Trenton. This copy was actually gifted to me by my girlfriend, and I think it's a really great book, especially if you're trying to help yourself overcoming anxiety and all that stuff, or maybe if you just want to read something about psychology or mental health, then this book is a really great read. So I'm just gonna start reading things that I think that are important and are worth sharing. So here we go. Chapter 1. It's all in the perspective. Being proactive versus reactive. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. A quote from John Maxwell. People who are cool, calm, and collected just have something about them. What is this X factor that lets them remain so composed and in control of themselves? While overly anxious people flap around and freak out, calm people seem to be inhabiting an entirely different mindset. Let's begin this book by looking more closely at exactly what this mindset is and how you can go about cultivating it in yourself. Here's an interesting question. Who is in control of your life? There are two main answers. Either you see something or someone else as responsible for what happens to you, or you see yourself as the primary agent, mainly responsible for how your life plays out. Proactive people are those who, in essence, do not depend on the environment to guide and shape their life, but rather take active responsibility and do things on their own. They focus on their scope of action, on what they want, and on how they can bring those things about. Naturally, their attitude puts them in a frame of mind that focuses on solving problems and seeking opportunities. Broadly, when it comes to their life path, they are the ones calling the shots. Compare this to the opposite. Someone who is reactive. As the name suggests, this is a person who acts only as a response to other people's actions, or according to the environment, and less from their own innate agency and desire. This is more passive, more conditional, and more dependent on position. It's more about what you should do or are being made to do than what you genuinely want to do. Blame, indecisiveness, victimhood, people pleasing powerlessness, and lack of responsibility all belong to this mindset, as well as the belief that other people can make you feel certain emotions or force you to do something. Now I know what you're thinking. Surely it's impossible to be truly proactive. After all, none of us is 100% in control of our lives. This is true. Being proactive, however, doesn't necessarily mean you always get your way. Rather, it's an orientation of mind and an attitude that says, I can learn from mistakes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Surely, it's impossible to be truly proactive. After all, none of us is 100% in control of our lives. This is true. Being proactive, however, doesn't necessarily mean you always get your way. Rather, it's an orientation of mind and an attitude that says, I can learn from mistakes. I can use my potential. I can try something new. In fact, a proactive person is also able to recognize when they don't actually have an influence over outcomes, and they can comfortably relinquish control. So it's not that being proactive means you are entitled and enabled to make the world exactly as you like it. Rather, that you have conscious awareness of your own scope of action. You have an internal locus of control, and you are willing to actively engage with obstacles and mistakes, rather than passively assuming you have no control or responsibility. It's not really the outcome or result that matters, but the attitude. Because a proactive person knows that they are in charge of their actions, their feelings, and their inner interceptions. Because a proactive person knows that they are in charge of their actions, their feelings, and their inner interpretations. They make efforts to create situations that actually align with their values. A proactive person quietly hopes that things will align for them, that others will help them, or else they quietly resent when this doesn't happen or resort to blame. Proactive people consciously create conditions they desire, and they know that they are the only ones who are empowered to do so. This takes a degree of mindful awareness, honesty, and courage. It also means they have to be mature enough to shoulder some risk if they fail. They know that only they are responsible and can blame nobody. Let's return to the question. Who is in control of your life? Well, it depends on you. You can choose to be in control of your own life, or you can forfeit that choice to others. The thing is, nobody can force you to take charge of your own life. You either embrace that agency or you fail to embrace it. Now, what does all this have to do with cultivating an attitude of inner calm? As you can probably guess, Those who are calm and composed, as people tend to act from a proactive mindset. They feel calm because they are self-assured and confident in their own agency. They are not anxious of situations because they know that someone is in control. Them. They are in control. Because they have fully claimed their agency. They know that they always have options. They can always become aware of them and make conscious choices. And they can always make the best of even the worst possible outcomes. When you're reactive, you have no such inner security. You are waiting for others to determine your fate, or sitting ineptly and complaining about what they choose for you. This is an innately anxious position. You are at the mercy of other people's actions. What could be more stressful than that? Because you doubt or ignore your own ability to take responsibility or find solutions. You may feel that there really aren't any solutions until someone or something else comes and provides them. Instead of feeling competent and filled with optimistic hope, you're naturally pessimistic, always on guard for the next bit of trouble. So if you want to be genuinely calmer and more relaxed, how can we start moving toward the proactive rather than reactive mindset? So yeah, that's the first part. I don't know what that's called. The first part of the chapter, of chapter 1. So yeah, some thoughts about it, I guess. I really realized that during reading this, that I was anxious, I was reactive, I was not in control of my own thoughts and actions. And yeah, I felt helpless because I was being helpless, It's being helpless is different from truly being helpless. I don't know. Thinking that you are helpless is different from actually being helpless. Because there are a lot of people who are truly helpless, and even I don't think a lot of them are actually giving up. I think a lot of them are fighting. People with cancer, people with disabilities. I mean, they're not emotionally or mentally helpless. Physically, they might be, yeah. But, I mean, physically or medically, especially, there are not a lot of treatments out there for a lot of diseases still, But you still have the power, you still have options, you still have your life. You get to choose how to live it, how you get to choose how to react to different situations. And sometimes I forget that. Sometimes I just go on about thinking that this happens for a reason, and this happened because I was lazy, and this is just a consequence, and I cannot fight it. But that's not true, man. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from anything in life, actually. You get to choose to get back up or just stay there. You get to choose to learn. You get to choose to have power over your own life.